Hi, my name is Samuel Price, the Crypto Lifer, and every single Friday I give you your macro technical analysis so we can break down what's happening in Bitcoin, the total market cap in all the cryptocurrencies, the total market cap of all the altcoins, Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance, the DXY, the S&P futures, the NASDAQ futures, gold, and more. Get ready. We're going to deep dive. We're going to have a blast. We're going to do some awesome macro technical analysis. Let's have some fun. Let's look at the charts. Okay, the first thing we're going to start off with is Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin here on the weekly, and we're going to discuss what I see happening. Now, last week, if you remember, I had basically this flag drawn like such, and we were green, right? And the coin was looking green. It looked like we were going to close this green, and it looked like, man, as long as this closed green, our next would continue, and we could continue to the target, right? So things were looking pretty good last week when we had left you guys, and it looked like, hey, we might continue to get this pump to the upside. We did discuss the fact that we may be double topping, and there's a chance that we had a lower low when we may continue to the downside and that this trend line had to hold. We lost this trend line, but look what happened. When the weekly came back, and right now it's looking like by Sunday night, we will close back inside of the pattern. So you can break a pattern, but it's really about where you close. So you can do anything you want Sunday to Sunday, but it's where you end up that next Sunday night that really matters. So right now, Bitcoin sitting pretty, right? If it closes like this, that means it has a likelihood of basically staying sideways and continuing to the upside. And you would have to assume, if we stay inside this pattern, that about $138,000 for Bitcoin, somewhere right here, somewhere around maybe the end of March, is still likely and very possible that we could get this parabolic run to the upside here for Bitcoin. So the macro still holds well that we are bullish. Let's take a look at the 3-day chart. We may have had some crazy shenanigans. This week was insane. That was one of the biggest liquidations in the history between FTX and the COVID crash. That was more. It was the biggest liquidation in the history of crypto. If you can believe it, it was insane. But that's how many more people we have in the space. So right now when I look at the 3-day, another macro time frame you really want to pay attention to, it suggests that we could continue further to the upside here, and things are going okay. Moving average is a little far apart. And when I move to the daily, I mean, look how tight the moving average is here on the daily. And you definitely have a low, a high, a higher high, and a higher low. Slightly, but it is. And that is a macro uptrend, And so it suggests that your next high will come up, maybe break this, but at least come to the top of the pattern. I'm looking throughout this next week for Bitcoin to find this higher low and to end up here. Somewhere when we come here next week on the macro, I'm expecting the Bitcoin to be somewhere right here. Now, there's a chance we bearishly retest and we're down here. Anything could happen. But I am more bullish than bearish right now on the macro, and I'm looking for the daily candle to break up. And for the next week, I'm looking for us to break to the top of this channel, and then we'll reassess from there. But I am bullish on Bitcoin. And those levels that you're going to look for is I'm looking for a bounce from 98,005, basically 400, all the way back to about $106,500. Big point of control here. We break through that. We run up to the value area highs and continue to pump. So I like what I'm seeing here for Bitcoin. And it looks very, very, it looks bullish right now. Anything could happen, but right now, I'm leaning more bullish than bearish on the macro for BTC. We may have had that liquidation, but look, we're back in the game right now, and we have a higher low. So it is what it is. Let's take a look at the total market cap in all of cryptocurrency. Everything took a hit. This was looking like it was going to be in a beautiful, more of like a bull pennant or a flag. And now it's in more of a falling wedge bull flag, right? It looks like it's just in more of a lateral or more of a vertical flag and instead of a sideways flag. So you're looking at something like this now. Bounce, bounce, bounce. And again, once inside the pattern, I'm looking for the bounce here back to the top of the pattern on total market cap. So even if we are bearish, for now, for the next week, I'm looking for the bounce back to the top. Huge wick. Massive liquidations, everyone waited on the sidelines, got in. And so what it did is it liquidated everyone that was in too heavy, and it gave people, positions that were waiting to get cheaper prices. So yeah, right here, I mean, this could end up being a bigger flag and we'll break out and we'll go from there. That flag's still intact. That says you can get all the way to $5 trillion on the total market cap. It looks good. Right now, what I'm looking for and what's likely going to happen is we are going to get a bounce. So I'm projecting that we will bounce. And there's about a 70% chance that we'll bounce here to the top. And then maybe we make a right shoulder there. And then we make a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, and then we're gone. But I see a bounce back to the top of the channel. These could be some of the best prices for altcoins right now before we get a bit of a bounce. Let's take a look at total. And that's the total market cap of all of the cryptocurrencies. This is total 3, the entire market cap of all of crypto, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Same story here with what we just saw, right? The chart's going to be somewhat similar, just extrapolating the Bitcoin and Ethereum, basically market cap. So it takes a little chunk out. But for the most part, it's pretty similar. And you fell on this falling wedge floor here. For me, you're just going to have to see this bounce. Yet again, the same type of scenario, a bounce to the top of the channel. This does look a little more bearish, a little more double toppy. You can see that we lost a support that we're right below. So right now, altcoins don't look amazing, but I am still seeing this possible falling wedge breaking to the top of the channel. If Bitcoin at least holds and doesn't take a huge dump and recovers, it's going to give some faith back to these altcoins. So I'm looking for the bounce too for total 3 back to the upside. Looks like next week we're going to be higher than we are right now. Again, we could dump. Anything is possible, but the probabilities are this falling wedge will break out, and we're going to end up somewhere here when we show up next week. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance and see what's happening with Bitcoin dominance. Skyrocketing to the moon. That happens, right? And look, we talked about this being a cup and handle. We talk about the cup and handle breaking out on a macro scale. And that was basically pretty spot on, right? That's kind of what I've been saying. And that's why I love the cup and handle. And that's why it plays out. Let me look at it on the 3-day chart here. Sorry, I don't need that line. So right here, if we look at the cup and handle, you can see cup with a handle. We broke out sideways, boom, to the upside. And I'll get rid of everything. But that's kind of where we stand. And now we're at a key resistance, but we broke support. We're at a key resistance, but we did break this resistance here. Suggests we can go higher. Let's take a look at our 3-day chart. So if I had to assess this and tell you where we're going, I would map this out like such. And to me, it broke out. It clearly broke out, and it has a larger leg. To me, Bitcoin's about to go on a tear. And this tells me to watch your altcoins, and Bitcoin's about to rip. So if I had to make any guesses, I would say they both pump. Bitcoin pumps a little harder, right? But just as I suggest, it suggests that Bitcoin does pump back to 106K. People think this is the bigger one. They really rush out of alts now because alts are hurting even more, and they're less enticing, and Bitcoin's more enticing than ever, and it creates dominance to continue to pump to the upside. So I see a continuation in Bitcoin dominance. That should lead to a decline in Tether dominance. However, we are seeing people kind of stressed out in altcoins. Tether dominance, like we suggested, is in this bigger descending triangle. However, it did bottom with the double bottom in it, and it attempted to get the bounce. I keep it saying, hey, you know what? It's still inside a bear flag. It's looking bearish to me. Let it wiggle its way around. But people are going to realize if they don't want to be in alts, they're going to sell their alts for Bitcoin, not for Tether. And I just see people consolidating their money into Bitcoin right now. I think Bitcoin's going to steal the show. Tether dominance is likely going to rip to the downside. And what I think doesn't matter, the charts are conveying that this is a bear flag at resistance and that you're going to head further to the downside. Low, high, lower, high. I'm expecting another lower low in the set. Looks like, we might only just be sideways when I show up in, because it's 3-day candles or somewhere right here, but we may be beginning our decline. 2 to 3 weeks from now, it suggests that Tether dominance will be lower than it is right now. And that brings me to the DXY. I like to show the DXY because we have to, But we look at the DXY because it has a pretty good indicator of what's happening in the bigger markets. And you can see here, I had a bit of a bear flag on it. When we had that capitulation, we wicked up, but we wicked right back inside. We're still inside the bear flag despite that crazy capitulation move there. So if we delete everything and we start fresh, which I'll do, we'll go to the weekly, get rid of the moving averages, and just reassess what we're looking at here. So the first thing is we have a resistance at 120. We have support at 89. We got support at 100. And we've been in this flag for a good amount of time now for the dollar, right? And here, to me, it's like you kind of broke out of the flag. You're still inside, and you're lagging. You could even, I like to do this is extend this and extend that. And to me, it's pattern trading 101. And you've hit the top of the pattern, and you can just see, it looks like you're going to start heading back. Now, where's the 21? It's right there. It's not the worst, but you want to see that kind of further come back down to the 21. Yeah, interesting. The 3-day isn't so bearish, but what we're looking for is this. Look, you're looking for a shoulder, a head, a little bit of a right shoulder, and then for the DXY to fall down. Lately, Bitcoin and the DXY can pump together. They're not 100% inversely correlated every time, but it does suggest that over time, you're going to start to see the dollar decline. until June. So for the next 4 to 5 months, it looks like real estate may bounce back. You're going to, that may have been your bottom in the real estate market right there. Because once the dollar starts to drop, real estate's going to go back up. So today and this week might be one of your best times to put in an offer. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm looking at real estate right now. I actually may purchase a home literally this week. And I usually purchase homes based off the height of the DXY chart, right? So like if the DXY chart's bottoming, I don't want to purchase a home because think about it. If the DXY gets strong, my home's going to go down in value. So when I purchase real estate, I like to look at the DXY chart and I like to make sure I'm buying when the DXY is topped out. All right. So as being a trader, it gives me an edge in the real estate market because I'm able to make pretty good probability decisions based on where to put my money. So that's the DXY. All right. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Who knows what's going to happen, but that's how I'm doing it. And you can kind of follow along there. So I'm looking for this right shoulder and for the DXY to continue to trend lower. Let's take a look at our baby gold, which continues to rip. Gold, baby gold, right? And I told you gold was going to rip. I told you gold was on fire. I thought maybe a little flag there, didn't even. Eventually, we are going to have some type of consolidation, but man, gold is just continuing. It hit my target at 2791 that I gave you guys back here on December 31st, maybe even there. Look, Adam and Eve, it double bottomed, got tight, ripped, and gold, baby gold. I see gold headed to $3,400 an ounce by April. It looks like this. It says there's going to be this massive declination in the dollar, and we're going to get this huge move somewhere in March and April. That's what the charts are showing. Again, anything is possible, but how could gold make a move that fast if the dollar did drop like we're showing you? So, again, another idea that it may be a really good time to buy some real estate. Just saying. So, that's gold. Now I want to take a look at the S&P futures. All right. I track it for you. I've told you it's bullish. Everyone was bearish. They started getting really hairy. I told you we're going to continue to make this channel. I drew this when we were here, folks. I started drawing this one here. Told you we were going to probably bounce, get tight, and then break out. Look what's happened now ever since. I've been spot on the S&P. All right. Absolutely. If you press play here and watch it play out, it bounced off my 618 fib that I told you it would because that's why I drew the fib in the first place. I told you to get tight inside of here. Look for it to get tight. You can even see my drawings. We're pretty much where I said we would be last week. And I see us, you give this 3, 4, next week we're probably just breaking out because it'll be 2 6-day candles and 1 candle or on our way. And then definitely 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be gloating saying, hey, I told you this thing was going to rip to the upside. So far the S&P prediction that I'm making is absolutely spot on, absolutely ripping. Let's take a look at our NASDAQ, the ES, the mini, the NQ. Same thing here. The NASDAQ mini futures, baby. Same thing here. I'm looking for this tight, I look for that kind of move back up to the top of the channel. It got it. I'm looking for this to just get super tight and eventually break to the upside. I am bullish on the NASDAQ. Couple more days, you get sideways. Maybe we start to break out next Friday, and it says 2 weeks from now. We're going to be in a full-blown pump to the upside. This may take a full, about one on the 3-day chart. Yeah, this could take, I'd say, about 9 to 10 candles. This could take 30 days to play out. Summer by St. Patrick's Day, we have a brand new, huge, new all-time high for the NASDAQ. All right. One thing I want to take a look now is SOLBTC, just to see how Sol is doing against Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been ripping up, but Sol has been taking a bit of a hit against Bitcoin. I see that only consolidating for so long, though. Now, we did consolidate tightly, but I see this making a flag that gets tight. And when the market rips up again and we go on a massive tear, I believe SOLBTC will eventually win. This is something you want to keep tracking. If the altcoins don't collapse and stay, Sol is actually stronger than the rest of the altcoins. You got Ondo, Sol, you have some really big hitters, and then everything else is kind of in the dumps. But thank God if you made a big move in Sol, you basically held your entire portfolio down. And I did do that. Thank the heavens. So this is what I see. It's a giant cup and handle. Looks like you're actually going to get some movement in altcoins soon. It'll kind of parallel the Bitcoin pump, and then boom. But it tells me somewhere by, I don't know, May or June, Sol could start to decouple, and then into, November and December, Sol really should be beating up on BTC. But only time will tell, but that's what we're seeing for SOLBTC. Thank you for watching my macro technical analysis video. I do it every single Friday for reviewing and educational pleasure. Please feel free to come back every single day. I live stream Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. I'm here to teach you. I'm here to go over the charts and show you all the different nuances and the probabilities that are likely going to play out We trade the small time frames on the live, but we zoom out here on the macro, and we give you a full picture so you can really see what's happening in the markets. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. And remember, if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Crypto is life.